about C2E2. We had a glorious time, and we're going to tell you about it. Nick.
Panels. We went to a bunch of them, and some of them were worth talking about.
We went to a lot of panels that were worth talking about.
Almost every panel we went to. There was one.
We started out the weekend.
DC sucks.
The very first panel we went to was the DC panel on Friday, and it really was.
It was about the future of DC. So post-convergence, new series, We Are Robin, Bizarro,
Starfire,
whatever that is, Catwoman, Harley Quinn.
Well, it was
there were some diamonds in the rough. No, Bizarro looks kind of fun.
The only things that they told us were the things that we actually had panel members for. So it was just it was lackluster, and then people were asking questions about things that are important, and they wouldn't answer because they weren't working on those projects. So it was just dumb, and then people started to leave, and they were like, "Well, you better wait. There's a big announcement. There's a huge announcement."
That was one of my like bad taste in my mouth for panels moments. They were like, "Hey, you guys that are leaving?"
It just spoke of They were desperate.
They were desperate. They were like, "Everybody that's leaving, just so you know, we do have a big announcement." And then
go ahead.
Brian Azzarello came out of the crowd looking like
pissed off.
Somebody just woke him up.
Like, why am I here?
And he's like, "I've been working with Frank Miller, and we're working on The Dark Knight 3. And whatever. Like, I mean, that's cool. I'm glad Frank Miller's still doing stuff. He's like, gotta be end times at this point, right? He looks scary. And I love Brian Azzarello too.
I think the reason this panel wasn't so good is because it was just running down solicits that we could just read on the internet.
Right.
You know? The reason we hated that panel is because we went to a bunch of other image panels and they were so much better.
True.
Basically, I went to an hour-plus panel that I could have spent 45 seconds reading about on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
One of the highlights, though, I'm excited for Constantine, Hellblazer, or whatever it's called.
It needs a reboot.
Riley Rossmo,
the show
James
sucks.
Tynion, Zipholth. We talked to him for a minute, and Riley Rossmo's drawing it. I don't know anything about Constantine, and Mr. Tynion said that we could definitely jump in at this point.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's really exciting.
The first page.
Yeah, he showed us the first page on his cell phone. That
He was
really
the
cool.
best person on that panel. He was the only person on that panel that really...
He could speak to Batman Eternal and all that stuff from that.
And he was really cool at his table too.
I'm kind of excited about Bizarro too.
So anyway, we love C2E2. DC panels suck. Next.
MovieReference.com.
Oh, MovieReference.com.
Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
What else are we talking about?
As far as panels went, we went to I think every image panel pretty much except one.
Mm-hmm.
We skipped the Cowl one, which was a mistake, I guess, because they were.
I'll talk about that one, I guess.
Yeah.
My favorite panel we went to a Mad Cat panel, but the last panel of the weekend, Image did an adventure panel and included Cowl, Oddly Normal, and 5 Ghosts. I've only been reading Cowl, and it was the reason I went. We found out that it's
broke your heart.
Yeah, they broke my heart. Cowl was soon to end, and it was kind of just like my, heart just dropped. I couldn't believe that it's ending so soon because I felt like it was such a big universe that they were leading up to.
Cowl already felt like a timeless, ongoing saga that I was going to remember for a long time. The day before that panel, Friday, so 2 days before that panel, we rushed the stage at their booths. Rod Reese, Kyle Higgins, the Alec Siegel.
Baldwin.
MovieReference.com. We rushed them and we were like, "Oh my god, your book is so good." I spent like $40, $60 on Rod Reese paintings. Came back because Kyle Higgins wasn't there. I have the first printing of the first issue signed by everybody that fucking made it, and then they just... It's over. And I hope it's like Beatles over. Like, stop while we're ahead, we're going to start something new, this is good.
I think it's good.
Wings.
It was clearly meant to go longer than this. And I think they lost their drive to do it. At the panel they said they've been working on this story for 10 years. And not just a comic medium, but they made a movie about it.
Right.
All this other stuff. and they're just ready to move on. They found an endpoint and they're happy with it, which I don't want any creator to continue a project that they don't want to be doing. It was one of my favorite books, one of the first books that I picked up at issue 1 that I just fell in love with. And it was really hard.
We looked forward to that. Was one of the first ones we were like, oh god, it's coming out soon. Like, let's stick on the image panels. We saw Rick Remender talking about sci-fi. Him and Invisible Republic people.
Invisible Republic, yeah.
Gabriel Hardman and his wife.
Corrine.
Whatever.
Alright, so Corrine.
Sorry, girl. It was a great panel.
It was an awesome panel.
And Greg Ticini was there talking about Low with Mr. Remender.
Yeah.
That was a good panel. And then we saw a Jonathan Hickman, image panel about Manhattan projects.
Yeah.
And East and West. Nick Tripota was there.
Yeah.
I talked to Jonathan Hickman, or at him at least, and he enjoyed my question and made me happy. That's all. And then I won free comics.
Rick Remender was pretty cool.
Rick Remender was pretty cool.
Signing table.
We also went to the comedy. There was a humor one with Scotty Young and Chip Zdarsky and God Hates Astronaut, Ryan Brown, God Hates Astronaut guy. That one was pretty funny.
That was hilarious, man.
Can't say I'm excited about.
Really hungry though.
Oh, we were just done. I wanted to kill you guys. It's like,
the end of
you
Friday.
have to go to dinner. No! Oh my god, it was the worst.
That was like 8 o'clock.
It was funny, we all stood in line to get autographs from Chip Zdarsky, and he said, I was just at my first panel for Marvel, as he writes Howard the Duck, Marvel the Duck, and he said, I don't think I'm going to be welcomed back. I'm used to image panels where I can fart and burp, and this was not the same.
And we thought about going to that panel too, and we're glad we didn't after what he said.
Well, it was swamped. We also would not have gotten a seat, so... the last panel we went to was the
Matt Ken one.
Yeah.
He went a lot. He just talked a lot about how he creates comics, focused on mind management, but talked to a lot of his graphic novels. And honestly, that's the one my biggest takeaway is just how much I enjoy his work, and I think he's my favorite comic book artist and writer at this moment.
Artist too?
See,
because it's his vision. It's not like
no, but what?
I'm not saying his art is technically the best.
Sure,
but he has a way
he's got
his work, and he's got
But I can see exactly how you feel that way. I haven't read Mind Management, but hearing him speak about the creative process, hearing him, speak from his graphic design background. I can definitely see easily how, if I'd read more of his works.
Well, almost everyone we talked to seemed like a normal guy, that just a humble
that was
person.
The coolest part,
which was
this
great.
whole thing. It's like the writers, the the artists, they're all right there. They're all appreciative to you just even stopping and talking to them.
What else was fun? Cosplay was fun.
Nick loved cosplay.
I love taking pictures on my phone, and I loved all the idiots dressed in cosplay.
How much time did we wait for Nick to just run around to all the cool people?
You know what? And then you know what? On Sunday, you guys said, you're the mascot.
We're walking a straight line on a mission for
I'm the only
somebody's table, and Nick's gone.
Nick's gone.
And cosplay.
Also, Nick's not there, and no one else has the balls to ask Slave Princess Leia, who should be Seth, to choke them with the chain, even though it sounds really inappropriate when it comes out of your mouth.
That's not balls.
Who were your favorite costumes?
Inappropriate.
What were your favorite costumes that you saw?
There were some OG Batman characters. It was like old school, 60s Robin, Batgirl, Riddler, and Poison Ivy. I really liked that. The Riddler especially. He was really skinny and bald and had a really good pose to him.
There was a female Thor, which was awesome.
There were two Lady Thors that were really good.
There was a couple of good acts. I think it was the same guy doing 2 different versions of Hellboy walking around. Mm-hmm. A couple of really smartly dressed, non-compliant bitches. I must say.
Not forced.
Not forced at all.
My favorite cosplay moment was, besides the non-compliant bitches, you guys were already moving towards the panel. I think I was buying a beer, and everyone and their grandma dressed as Star Wars got in front of that big C2E2 sign.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite part about it. All these nerds are screaming at each other like, "Stormtroopers in the front! Get on one knee! What are you doing, you idiots? Blah, blah, blah!" And like, they're like, "Wookiees in the back! Put the Wampa in the middle! What is everyone doing? Blah, blah, blah."
As if there was a format.
Yeah, like, we gotta organize, guys. And then out of the crowd, a seemingly self-controlled R2 unit comes out and it's just bloop, 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 and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And it like just moved wherever he wanted it to. It was so sweet.
I liked cosplay. I didn't like it as much as you did, but
We
I
met
do have a
fake Daft
favorite.
Punk.
What was your favorite?
It was a moment more than anything. And I'm
Dude,
gonna
okay,
explain
the
it.
cosplay
And it
is
ties
sweet, but
into Nick's love of this whole experience. But we were walking away from a table. I don't remember who's, Ramon Perez's or something. And you can see the crowd parting. And here comes in perfect costume. Darth Vader.
with the breathing noises too.
Everything was-
Everything about it was
looked like
perfect. He
he
was
was from the
straight
movie.
off a Death Star.
And then did you ask for a photo?
Walking with purpose. Staring straight ahead. Boba Fett, same thing. Looks perfect. Walking right behind him with purpose. And Nick is just going crazy. And he starts to walk past us. And Nick says, just like he's asking everyone else, "Can I take
Every
your
single
picture?"
person I saw.
"Hey man, can I take your picture?" Doesn't even break stride. Doesn't turn towards him. Continues to just walk right past him.
Dude was like 8 feet tall.
And the
You got
crowd,
the middle finger. Darth Vader.
the whole crowd around just busts out laughing. It was the best moment.
It was my. That was. Yeah.
That was my favorite cosplay.
Ultimately, thank you C2E2 for having beer.
And thank you, Sean, for letting us sleep on your floors.
Sean,
Or couches for
thank
the
you so much.
nannies.
Susan, hospitality was fantastic.
Yeah. Was there anything you didn't like?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
Natural.
you know, the Matt Kent panel, which we all raved about, was awesome, and it was led by Scott Alley of Dark Horse. Where the fuck was your booth, Dark Horse? I wanted so many Dark Horse things.
True.
The ultimate representative of Dark Horse was there speaking at panels, and you let me down.
The only thing I didn't like, which is stupid, it's not even a thing to be mad about.
Was that Darth Vader
No,
threw
I
me
just lost
straight
my
shit?
pass and then to buy another one.
You
The Ballad.
I bought
The Ballad of Seth Stevens.
I lost my pass,
Seth lost his pass.
in the hall.
And then the guy that found his pass
Probably
sold it back
was
his pass.
scouting Seth and sold it back to him. Guaranteed.
Well, that ends part 3 of the hits for April. It was a great experience for us at C2E2. We'll probably end up doing it next year. I can't imagine.
Are you
why
guys
we
going
wouldn't.
to Motor City?
Yeah, we're probably going to go to Motor City.
Yeah.
If we can get the time off.
But that's the end of the hits. Thanks for watching. This is the end of part 3. If you, for some reason, watched this one without watching the other 2, we put way more effort into the first 2.
This one's pretty loosey-goosey.
You know, links will be at the bottom if you're watching this on YouTube or just right above on
I
the
think we
site.
drank more this time.
You guys drink more.
You did.
Thanks for watching.
Coca-Cola.
CoverJudger.com. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Cheers.